The Call of Duty Next event dropped a ton of information on Modern Warfare 2, multiplayer, Warzone 2, and what seemed like hardly any information on the third mode coming to Modern Warfare 2, DMZ. Personally, this is the mode I'm potentially most excited for, but also the most nervous about. I was very excited for Hazard Zone with 2042, and well, we all know how that turned out. While it seems like information on DMZ was relatively thin during the event, I actually think they gave away quite a bit when you start to dig into it. First off, we know that DMZ is going to share the same map as Warzone, Al Mazrah. What is interesting about this is obviously the scale of the map. This is significantly larger than maps in games like Escape from Tarkov, and if they were going to go the same route as something like Hazard Zone, Tarkov, or the Cycle Frontier, then a player count of less than 20 would make this feel extremely empty and devoid of any action. However, they did drop a hint on this.
We've got an all-new mode in DMZ that has large player counts along with massive player counts of AI.
So this is interesting. This sounds like in terms of player count, it's going to be nothing like what we've had before in terms of extraction shooters. Now, I don't want to hazard a guess at specifics, but could we be looking at 50 to 60 players on a server? Maybe more? Who knows right now? But that would certainly make for some really high-intensity gameplay. They also mention AI, an extremely high AI count, which at face value is nothing to be excited about. Coming across an army of annoying bots isn't going to make the game interesting. But they do say this.
And the AI is occupying large sections of the map, and they are lethal opponents, and they do command your respect. You have to watch out for them. You have to work with your team. They patrol areas, they occupy strongholds, and they'll reinforce based on players' actions.
Which I really hope is true. Playing Escape from Tarkov, I was as terrified of scavs and their ability to 360 no-scope you from 200 meters if they want to. Now, I don't think this level of hardcore would be appropriate for a game like Call of Duty, but they need to be a significant threat to really up the pressure of the mode. I think this could be a big red flag off the bat would be if the AI are nothing more than a nuisance to players and don't really pose any sort of threat. Now, moving away from the presentation, I actually think some of the clips from the Warzone 2 gameplay probably give a lot away without even thinking about it. As we know that Warzone and DMZ share the same map, it makes the most sense that Warzone will hold a lot of similar mechanics and features as DMZ. For example, what I mean is if you look at the new feature of lootable items such as cash registers, this wouldn't surprise me as this is something they want in DMZ to be able to allow players to find loot. And they have just kept the feature for Warzone 2 because why not? Also, they mentioned the fact that places such as bathrooms will house medical items to use, and other buildings will be similar, like banks will be a common spot to find money. Again, this sounds like a feature more in line with an extraction shooter, for which they're also utilizing within Warzone 2. If you think of things like the Cycle Frontier or Escape from Tarkov, if you learn the maps, you know areas of the maps where you're going to find certain lootable items to complete missions or for your own personal progress, and this very much feels in line with that. Features like this especially already give the mode potentially a lot more depth than what we saw in Hazard Zone, for example, where there was nothing remotely like this in terms of lootable items. Another obvious feature that I think we could see shared between the modes is the looting UI. There are a lot of comments about how you have to interact with loot boxes or with players' bags after you've killed them rather than just seeing loot scattered all over the ground. But this is exactly how you'd have to do something like this in an extraction shooter like Cycle Frontier or Tarkov. Again, I think this is a case of sharing functionality and giving us hints at what DMZ will eventually look like. Now, obviously, this is all speculation and I could be completely wrong, but I would be surprised if some of this doesn't hold true. One thing we are all, I'm sure, waiting for is to learn what the gameplay loop for DMZ will be. What will there be to keep players coming back for more round after round? And that is really the key to whether DMZ will succeed or be another flop. What did make me very nervous was this short soundbite.
What I can tell you, though, is we've created a rich sandbox where you can define your own win condition.
Now, I hope COD saw what happened with Hazard Zone and make the mode rewarding and worthwhile with a variety of objectives and missions and rewards to keep players wanting to come back time and time again. For now, that's all we know, so thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on DMZ in the comments below and what your expectations are, and subscribe for more as I'm sure to do another video as soon as we find out any more information about DMZ. Cheers.